Hello there, good people. Welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw, here to talk a little fantasy football. Today we give some thanks to the quarterbacks. What a fine season a lot of these guys have been having so far. We'll round out the top five and talk about some of the players who just barely missed the list. Number one on this list, the best fantasy football quarterback so far has been Peyton Manning with 329 passing yards per game and a couple of touchdowns. He's done it before, he'll do it again. The biggest surprise is the fact of who he's doing it with. Austin Collie from BYU having a heck of a season so far. Gone is Marvin Harrison, Anthony Gonzalez injured. Dallas Clark getting the ball a little more than we expected as far as being a receiving threat at tight end. Reggie Wayne also putting up huge numbers, so Peyton Manning, number one quarterback, you could rely on him having a big remainder of the season. Also making the list, number two, Drew Brees, the number one fantasy quarterback last year, having a fine season once again, 280 passing yards per game, couple of touchdowns. Don't fear the fact that his overall numbers aren't as impressive as some of the other quarterbacks so far. It's simply because his team has already had a bye. Well, good news. After that bye, Lance Moore was healthy. He had his most productive day so far this season. Also, Marcus Colston putting up huge numbers against what was supposed to be a very, very good Giants defense. So Drew Brees, one of the more consistent quarterbacks in the NFL. Number three, a big surprise because he's finally healthy. Matt Schaub is strutting his stuff for the Houston Texans. He's averaging over 300 passing yards per game with a couple of touchdowns. How's this happening? Very simple. Throw the ball to Andre Johnson, Kevin Walter, Owen Daniel, Steve Slayton at running back is a very good receiver. This guy is throwing aplenty. You might be concerned about his health. It's hurt him in the past. So on that note, you might want to sell high right now, but if you believe he could make it throughout the entire season healthy, well, then this is a guy who could put up huge numbers. Number four on the list is Aaron Rodgers. A little bit of a surprise for me here because I expected maybe Brett Favre, maybe Tom Brady, but no, it's Aaron Rodgers out of Cal having a heck of a season so far. 291 passing yards per game, almost 2 touchdowns per game, not many turnovers. Also, the one thing that distinguishes him is the fact that apparently he's a mobile quarterback, averaging more than 20 rushing yards per game. Aaron Rodgers doing very good, throwing the ball to Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, amongst others. So Rodgers, a guy that you could rely on in fantasy football. Number five on the list, Big Ben Roethlisberger, the two-time Super Bowl champion, putting up ridiculous numbers. I'm talking about 315 passing yards per game, almost 2 touchdowns per game. He does turn the ball over, but does it really matter when you throw for almost 400 yards on occasion? I don't think so. What a wonderful year so far from Hines Ward, perhaps the greatest slot receiver of all time. Santonio Holmes has done well. Mike Wallace having a heck of a season as a rookie in that receiving core. All is well for Pittsburgh right now. I know they've had some struggles as far as moving the ball on the ground because of injuries. Also, the defense not as sharp as last year because of injuries. But because of Big Ben, they'll find themselves in the playoffs once again. All right, now as far as the guys just barely missing out on the list, a great year so far from Tom Brady. I think his stock is on the rise after throwing 6 touchdowns last weekend. Also, Joe Flacco having an excellent year for the Baltimore Ravens, the number 2 guy, similar to Matt Ryan, having a very nice season. Carson Palmer, Jay Cutler having pretty much what you'd expect from them. Other surprises, Kyle Orton having a heck of a season for the undefeated Denver Broncos, and also Brett Favre. The game one expected him to get off to this type of start, but remember, he got off to an unbelievable start last year for the Jets as well, throwing 6 touchdowns against the Arizona Cardinals. So maybe Favre has to prove himself that he can make it throughout the entire season at the age of 40. Well, my friends, it's all for now. Until we meet again, I'm Rob Shaw, signing out.